Let's talk briefly about themes. So, what are the best ways for a novel or for an author to effectively tease out a novel's themes without bogging down the pacing, bogging down the plot, and also without becoming preachy?
The not becoming preachy part is hard. A lot of the books I did early in my agenting career was sort of that era of issue-driven books. So I do have a couple of those, as all agents who were selling books in 2011 and 2012 do. It was just a big time for issue-driven novels. And there was that fine line of, am I really overselling this versus am I not being clear enough? And to me, it comes down to story. As long as something seems true for your character, it shouldn't come off as preachy. I think when you get these long-winded speeches that usually are not even spoken by anyone, it's just the narrator like really hitting that nail on the head of like, and here is what the book is about. It's like, okay, like most teens, and even like middle grade, they're just so savvy. They get their media through other ways. Like they go see movies, they watch TV, they listen to podcasts of their own, they have YouTube. They are doing things that aren't just books. So for the most part, they're already aware of those same themes, just even if they don't even know they're getting it from other places. So there's no reason to really like spell everything out. And Judy Blume, I love you, but there is that like Judy Blumeness when it comes to, issue books of like, here it is. Because at the time, like that was the only way kids were really learning about things, but that's not really the case anymore. So for me, if you're
right, fired, duck Judy Blume. Oh no,
I love Judy Blume. First of all, most of us wouldn't be here without Judy Blume.
That's true.
But then you have like a YA like The Hate U Give, which is clearly issue driven, but that is so specific to that main character's story. It didn't feel preachy, at least to me, because it all made sense with what that character was experiencing in the moment and what that character would realistically do. So if it's something, I don't know if you remember the book Go Ask Alice, but it was just like this very cautionary, don't do drugs, like almost like an after school special kind of book, which was important at the time, but it was just like so over and over again of like over the top almost. And that to me is a preachy book, because it stopped being a story and more just like a PSA at that point. But if you focus on like what a character is doing, you can infuse these themes and what's happening to the character too. You can say what you want to say without saying it, I guess.
Makes sense to me. And then what's your, I love asking word people this, what's your biggest grammar pet peeve?
I don't know. There's a lot. I am one of those annoying people who will be like, it's your, and like with a little asterisk online. But I don't know, I think just bad grammar in general is a pet peeve of mine. It's different when you speak. It's very easy to not speak imperfect grammar, which I just did. It is very hard to ignore when it's on the page. So for me, that's just a pet peeve of like, just know what you're saying and be aware that you do have to know the rules in order to break them, because it's obvious when you're just breaking them. So yeah, I think that just in general is probably a pet peeve of mine of just like, learn grammar.
How would you direct someone who wants to learn grammar and be a better self-editor so that they can take up less of your time when they get to that stage?
What sources you mean?
Yeah, where would you direct somebody? Was it just as straightforward as enroll in a class, or?
I wouldn't even do that. I would just read a lot and also just listen to the Grammar Girl podcast, which I'm not affiliated with at all, but I just really enjoy it. And follow like copy editors on Twitter. Benjamin Dreyer is a big one who I like following. Not even because they talk about grammar, but every once in a while they do, and it's really enjoyable. There's a bunch. If you just like pay attention to the written word, you'll eventually just will have it, soak in through osmosis. But also, hire a copy editor. And that's something I tell writers all the time. When writers reach out to me, I have to be explicit of like, I will do my best with this line edit, but I am not a trained copy editor. That is a completely different skill that I am aware of. I will do light copy edits, but especially writers who are self-publishing, hire someone who is actually a copy editor, because they're the most important part of publishing. They're the unsung heroes of publishing, for sure.
It's the copy editing.
Is the copy editing, yeah.
Fair enough. Sarah LaPolla, have you ever seen a flying saucer, and do you believe in them?
I have not. I'd like to think that other life forms are a little bit more sophisticated than the flying saucer, but I would like to believe they exist.